Good morning, everyone. I hope you can hear me. I'm doing a new technology here. So I want to share a thought with you. So get in the mood to hear an idea, an image, okay? Just visualize this. Apple orchard. Nothing as real and raw. Hide. Do you hide? Good morning. I see you're coming out, so you're not hiding. Rawhide. What is rawhide and why does that relate to me? I want to talk about a rawhide that we've been learning about, that Mashiach ben Yosef is going to plow us like a field. He's going to make us raw and real, like the real thing. He's going to make us all ready for the Zriya of Mashiach ben David. That's what I've been learning about, and I read it I keep reading it over and over again. Maybe we'll say it again here today. Okay, great to have you whenever you get a chance to watch it. Thank you for coming. So what is rawhide and how does it relate to you? Because it does, very much. Though everything was dependent on the blessings from Yitzhak. Yitzhak was the father. He's the one we're going to call our father when Mashiach comes. I've spoken about Yitzhak before, so I'm not going to get too much into him right now. Today we're talking about Yaakov. Yaakov goes into Yitzhak to get the blessings because Rivka knew. Rivka, the whole world was Rivka. Everything depends on Rivka. And she was the only one that knew the truth, the right idea. Rivka was the only one. If not for Rivka, there wouldn't be you and me today. She knew that Yaakov had to get the brachas from Yitzhak, her husband. So she dresses him up in the furs of Esav, his magical furs, his superhero furs, right? I think as Rashi says there, well, he's going to try and trick his father now by wearing this. He's going to smell like rawhide. He's going to smell like furs. That's an obvious scent. And Yitzhak's like getting all close to Yaakov, touching him and everything. So close, he could smell. But what does he smell? He doesn't smell a stink. Like someone says it's not appropriate for me to talk in the 9 days about, what I have to do to wear clothes. Like I have 2 shirts for 9 days, okay? I don't know what I'm going to do, to be honest. But that's what I wanted to talk about, this idea. Because it occurred to me that the presence you bring in the world can be somehow magically an apple orchard. Okay, I don't know. Sometimes God works through nature. He's going to materialize shirts for me somewhere in a natural way. I'm going to find them. Are you hiding or are you going to find? This is a hide and seek lecture. Okay, what's hiding inside you? It doesn't matter what you wear. You can wear the garments of Esav and have, when Esther went into Achashverosh, she had been fasting for 3 days. I don't know if she had broken that fast even before seeing him. Probably yes. I don't know for sure. Maybe not. 3 days. What would you look like after 3 days of fasting? And she probably did it with the whole, Mordechai wore a sackcloth when he was fasting. And they took it seriously in those days, right? I don't know how many. So anyways, I'm talking about garments for that reason. And what do you bring a world? Do you fill a room up with angels like the Baal Shem Tov does? Is that what you do to inspire people? Because you bring angels down into your space with you? Are you like Yaakov, who even if he's wearing the garments of Esav, brings the presence of the apple orchard, Gan Eden, the smell of Gan Eden walked in with Yaakov, to Yitzchak? That's what Yitzchak experiences. When Esav went in, it doesn't matter, he was wearing whatever, his kapata, right? He came in with his kapata, obviously, and his strimal. He's always made himself out to be so holy. He's the pig who shows. He's got split hooves, but he ain't chewing the cud, right? That's the inside of Esav. Doesn't matter what you put on the outside. Show me the split hooves. The pig. Esav's the pig. I have a source here that says Esav's holding back Mashiach, and Mashiach ben Yosef is going to destroy Esav. What is Esav? Esav is, it doesn't matter what garments. He was wearing a strimal and a kapata. He was going to Yitzhak in a strimal. in a shrimo, all holy like. But what was inside? When Yaakov was wearing the garments of Esav, even if he was immersed in an unsavory world, what came out of that? What did he do with that? He brought an apple orchard, paradise with him wherever he went, because he had Torah. His insights were good. He was doing things from a place of purity. That's how he made decisions in his life. Ishtam. He was a sincere, genuine person. I'm speaking about emes, right? What was the message of Magid lacking? What am I lacking, Rebbe? I have everything. You're lacking nothing. You're lacking everything. You're lacking nothing because you think you're something. That's what you're lacking. You're lacking matzah, the bittul. I have another source for being Mevayer the Chametz. Mashiach ben Yosef is going to be Mevayer the Chametz. He is going to make each and every one of us, you 3 people that are here right now, right? You 3 people. Mashiach ben Yosef is making you a tzaddik. He's helping you plow your heart. Whatever schus you have in that process, like if you're going along with it, it's a great thing. If you're striving to use your own initiative and push yourself a little bit, you have a greater schus. But it's happening now. I'm telling you, everyone is going to do this. I have sources. I have sichos of the Rebbe. This is the true message. Anyone who's not teaching you this is not living on the cutting edge of emes. It's the Baal Shem Tov's emes that makes disciples. It makes people into Rebbes. It makes the message of Magid. Okay? What did he have, the Rebbe says? Fire. Okay, I wrote about it this week. I'll post it today, Mr. Shem. Leanader. So the real and raw hide. Are you hiding that inside? You might be. But you know what? There's a Rivka Mena looking out for you. There's a Rivka Mena looking out for you. And she's dressing you in the garments you have to be in. You have to do that right now. Sometimes you got to get real and raw hide. You can't hide with it, right? I'm coming out to the world. I don't care if I have 2 shirts in the 9 days. I'll figure a way, or Hashem will send me a miracle. I'm facing the world. I don't care. That's Yaakov. That's Ishtam. Whatever it is, he has to be a warrior. He's a warrior. He was ready for anything. Slicey usi he had. He could have fought with his davening and his supplication, which is like cherev, what do we say? And his bow. He had a sword and a bow. That was his davening. I think the Yitas Kislev, my Marim, speak about that idea, right? The war, how you express the warrior, what that means, a peaceful warrior, right? Padav Shalom Nafshi. Oh, I love those Marim. Those really inspired. And the Basi Laganis resonate also with that a few weeks later or whatever. Okay, so I want to get into what I have here. Okay, we might jump around a bit, but I think I want to just learn this with you. It's called Shmeina Kvatzim. Okay? I'm just going to be learning this. Oh, no, actually, sorry, I'm changing channels. I forgot. The main thing I wanted to get to is this Hayam Yam. Today's Hayam in Gimel Menachem Av. I'm going to read it from the context it appears in. This is the Frierdiker Rebbe explaining about his father, the Rebbe Rashab. It was Erev Yom Kippur, and he says a beautiful sikha, and then the Rebbe speaks about this. I love these. This is my favorite book in the world. Hayam Yam HaMavuar. It's awesome. The only thing better than this maybe is Sefaria.org, because just for its convenience, that's awesome. I love Sefaria.org. That's a resource is to be reckoned with. And you can make a shir in 5 minutes flat. That's Mashiach, okay. You think Mashiach's any different? You got it wrong. I'm telling you. You gotta listen to what I'm saying and try it and tell me, am I right or wrong? Okay, don't watch me if you're not gonna tell me I'm right or wrong. If I'm wrong, shut me up and let's do something else. Okay? I only want the cutting edge to bring Mashiach. Oh, I like that. Okay, someone should write that for me, please. The cutting, I gotta write that myself, then I can't wait. The cutting edge to bring Mashiach. No, let's just put the word cutting on the top row. The cutting edge to bring Mashiach. Oh my goodness, that's a pretty cool idea. Oh, okay, I posted that. Okay, on my own secretary. Technology allows you to do that these days, so I don't have to ask anyone to be a lowly secretary for me. I could just be humble before you and be your servant, like Moshe Rabbeinu served at Seudas Yisrael, and his wife and children. He served. Ishtam Yeshiv Ayolim. It's a type of person that could also serve, right? A real person. Ishtam, to be a genuine person. Then you could be humble to whatever you have to do. You'll do to be. But Makam Shein Ish, right? We learned in Pirkei Avos this Shabbos. Okay, I could have delved into that. That would have been fun. But anyways, I got something really juicy. I'm going to try and say it a bit quick because it's a bit lengthy, and I have another lengthy thing I want to do. So put on your seatbelt. The cutting edge to bring Mashiach, you have to wear a seatbelt sometimes. I know I'm trying to relax here in the backyard, but it's got to be Slavos, like the Baal Shem Tov also. So if it scares you, put on a different type of seatbelt. Get your airbags ready to go. Erev Yom Kippur b'seudas haBeiker. Breakfast, Erev Yom Kippur. What breakfast? Erev Yom Kippur. I was thinking Yom Kippur. Because just the word Erev Yom Kippur makes you think, it's almost Yom Kippur, and that's terrifying. Good morning. B'seudas haBeiker haya Avi Meshuchach be'inyan mesuyim b'chassidus v'veda. His father, I guess the Rebbe Marash here, he was speaking about something particular in Chassidus and serving God. L'reiv hayateichen inyan mukdash l'neisa. Eich tia aveda shel erev yom kippur b'bias Mashiach b'mheira v'yameinu amen. Oh, what beautiful words. How are we going to approach the Avodah of Erev Yom Kippur when Mashiach comes? What a beautiful question. That makes me just feel like, I can feel Mashiach, the footsteps of Mashiach approaching. I feel it. I hope you feel it. I really, really hope you feel it. You have to see that there's something that's just bursting out inside you. That doesn't matter what garments you're wearing. The Rebbe says that. I have a source for this. Even if you're wearing sullied clothes, Mashiach's going to take you as you are. And then it led me to this whole idea we're going to be resurrected, because the Rebbe quotes this as a source. We're going to be resurrected ill with our illnesses, chas v'shalom. I mean, we have an opportunity now to transcend that. But those who do not and have to be resurrected, okay, those people, they're going to maintain their illnesses. We can make, the Rebbe hinted, okay, and I'm teaching you, that we have the power to do that. Not to have to try, not to have to go through the actual process of reincarnation, of resurrection, because we don't actually have to die. We could segue right into Olam Atchiyah. Make ourselves, and this is my own addition, through health, the ultimate health, all levels, resonating all of them together, into, with God's help and brachas and like all these Irish G'deilis Ma'id that the Mashiach ben David is going to bring to the world after we're plowed, and then he makes us all into Balei Tshuvas, because we're already tzaddikim. That's what I want to talk about. I'm just dying to talk about that. I just have to talk about that. But this right now is awesome words. How are you going to experience Erev Yom Kippur when Mashiach comes? Once I had a conversation like the following. When Mashiach, this is, I think, the Rebbe Rashab speaking, right? Kishem Yavayeh lemata b'asiyah shebasiyah. When Mashiach comes, it's going to be in the most tangible, physical way. Gilui ha'er ha'elaki. And this resonates completely with what I've been saying with the Shem Mishmuel. This exact idea. A godly revelation of light. Elkus begilui. That's when Mashiach comes, and I've told you that it's going to start with the individual, okay? I've had proofs of that. I'll write that to you. It's emblazoned on your head. And you just live with that like a mantra that you walk with all the time. The cutting edge to bring Mashiach. Make that your mantra for the day. Live on the edge for Mashiach. Why? Because that is your Geula. That is your becoming king of your universe. Because everyone's going to be on their own throne in their context of their world. Everyone's going to be healthy and shlemus. people that have, ailments are going to be healed, and you're going to see how it's God doing it. And we don't have to wait till Olam Atchiyah. We can make that happen now. Okay? I'm going to give you proofs. Give me time to unveil it all to you. Give me that time. Be patient with me. But stay with me and tell me, are you in or not, okay? I mean, am I right? Is this the time? Is it unfolding now? I'm saying yes. So when Mashiach comes, it's going to be in the physical world, the revelation of godliness. Lamat b'asiyah b'shibasiyah, in the most physically expressed way. K'fi she'adavar k'eis ba'ilam ha'atzilas. As it is now in Olam Hatzilas. That's going to be realized in the physical world. You are all going to have shleimus in every aspect of your life. Like it is in Olam Hatzilas, right? That is the godly world. That's not even part of creation. And that's going to be in the most physical aspect of creation. It's going to be expressed. That's a yin-yang that will blow your mind. It's going to be truthful. Remember what we said what truth means. If you really want to say something truthfully, you say it from the heart. It's the Baal Shem Tov's teaching. It has to be slavos, fiery flame and passion. Else you don't really mean it. That was the only thing wrong with his interpretation, was his delivery. Who cares about delivery? I'll just type my words. Even that has to be delivered, right? But you could speak like a robot and it won't have much delivery and it won't get the message across the way the Baal Shem Tov's talking about, okay? So when it's below, in the way of truth, in this world, the physicality of the world will literally be godliness. Think about what that means, okay? Put that in your world. Whatever you think is important to you, imagine how that will look. That is your geula. I'm telling you, that's the aleph into the geula. That's what the Rebbe is talking about. That's the aleph in the geula. The geula, the galus, that's the aleph. The lufa shel olam, godliness in your geula. It's not like you're going to go out of the exile. You're going to transform the exile. So those experiences you're going to see healing in, it's going to be unfold before your eyes in the most beautiful romance novel, because God is writing it. He is the author of the matrix of your life. Okay, I have a source for that now. I don't have to quote a stupid movie, which is a very intelligent movie. Just happens to be, but it could have been stupid. I assume that if someone if people don't do it from a place of kedusha, it's the clock being right twice a day. In the olden days, they used to have clocks with arms for those who are below 50 or something like that. They won't know that. My kids don't know what typewriter was, or like a landline, like with a cord. I mean, like old style. They don't a rotary dial. Okay. So what's it going to be when Mashiach comes? Your world, godliness. The physical aspect of your world, godliness. I've never seen a source that says it this clearly, and it's blowing my mind, because this is Kabbalah in the most real, philosophical, expressed way. It's saying that the message of Kabbalah is meant absolutely, literally. That's what Chassidus is teaching you, and it's more radical than Kabbalah. Kabbalah, you could say maybe it's meant spiritually, I suppose. I mean, I can't really speak from the inside. I'm getting Kabbalah through what I'm reading right now. This, to me, seems the most radical statement about the reality of Kabbalistic ideas. Bli shum hislapshus shel levush hageshem. The physicality of the world is going to be completely godliness without wearing the garments. Remember, we're talking about garments now? Of physicality. It's going to wear the garments of godliness in the physical. And the garments of the physical, you won't even notice. It's not going to be mislabish in the levusha geshem. I don't even know what that means. It's so mind-blowing. I have to meditate on that. It's going to have makam hagashmi yalokus mamish, physical space. I said the word space here. I don't know. It's a free translation, okay, from the Yiddish. Someone get the original for me. Then I don't know. I'm trusting it. This isn't the most incredible sefer I've ever learned. It's bringing out ideas. Good morning, that are so radical that I don't know. I should close the curtain and just go, or leave the curtain open and say the world is ready to see some Meshuggah and Dvekas. That's where we're on the verge of, I'm telling you. Get healthy, have a good night's sleep. I had about 2 or 3, and, no, I don't know. And just So let's try and understand this. It's going to elaborate, I'm sure. Shekan begeshem yira partsufay hamiti eikshehu atzmus mamish. Because in the physical itself, you're going to see the true garments, the Yaakov beneath the garments of Esav, the physical coarse, the furs that smell like rawhide, like hunting, the smell of hunting, okay? It was a hunting garment. And he killed Nimrod to get it. Okay, it was there's all drama about this, and it's the whole world was dependent on it, because it was not a deception. It's a statement of the ultimate truth, that the truth will come out even in the face of deception. He was meant to get it. He was meant to wear the garments of Esav. Rivka knew that, and that is a wisdom that a man cannot really understand. I need to ask the female population to really explain that, because it's beyond. Okay, but I tap into a little because I'm the Levi Yitzchak connection. I'm not Yitzchak, but I'm a Levi, so I feel connected to that whole midah. I love that. Davening is very important to me. So you're going to see in the physicality of the world that its physical partsuf means visage, to use the French. I told a funny story once that got everyone laughing their heads off when I was in like a family birthday or something, that my parents there and everything, my siblings, maybe they're my siblings. I said I went to get a hat in Grand Heights, like my first hat. I was like on Flap, which is something like a fancy guy with like a French accent or something. And he was like showing me a hat. I never bought a hat before, I just had whatever. Like some broken down hat that someone left in the yeshiva. That was a new Bal Tshuva. And he said, and I didn't know how to wear it, I guess. So I like had it like Lubavitch style, like down to here, right, you know? And he says, no, you must wear it this way. Or I don't know his accent, right? Yeah, you have to wear it this way, or this way. You have to show your visage. I've never had my face called a visage, so maybe that's what we're talking about here. The visage of the physical, the optics of the physical. Begeshem yireh partsufay hamiti, the true form of something, the true graphics of something, the true matrix will be revealed. Right? God's creating a game. I have proof for that. Rabbi Markel, I have to thank him forevermore for that. Eikshehu atzmus mamish. The true form of everything is the essence of God. Can you say it in better terms than that? I take it to heart, because if it's just a cliche to you, you're going to miss the whole point. You really have to absorb those words and imagine your thing, your dark phoenix, whatever is most smexy to you in your world, because to me that's an idea of just bursting out of everything and just saying, here I am, what do you want? Hineni, I want to be the sun. I want to burn like the sun for you, God. I just want to blaze a path. Whatever I could do to bring Mashiach. Everything I could do. Dive into that mission. Can you imagine life if you did that? And if you really, God gave you the gift of feeling like He's with you on it. Imagine that. That's the Aleph and the Geula. That's the transformation of the Gullus. That's what's happening on an individual level. Okay? I have sources. You show me different. Show me different. You can't. Nobody has ever shown me a source different than me. Ever. And I mean that. I once was showed, 23 years ago, I remember someone showed me a source. You're not supposed to say Yichi for, I don't know, some reason. The Rebbe dismissed someone from the idea. And then it's notwithstanding the fact that later he encouraged it, but then he said some heretical things, in my opinion, after that. So I knew that conversation was over. So we're going to see in the physical partsuf of the world, the visage of the world, that's a nice expression. We're going to see the essence of God. All your dreams come true before your eyes, with peace around you for everyone and prosperity for everyone. That is happening now. I call it health, because I think that's the true meaning of Mashiach in terms of our Veda, is to make ourselves healthy. In other words, to become tzaddikim. Okay, we're going to learn the Shem Mishmuel. I'm writing it up. I have it translated. That's where I'm getting it from. This is the time now, especially now, more than any time in history, that we have power to actually become tzaddikim. I have a source from the Rebbe also. Okay? Parshas Emor Tafshin Nun Aleph. Okay, look that up. I've already written about that and translated it. As this exists in space, so too it exists in the context of time. This is very metaphysical here, and it's incredible. Every day, the true revelation of the day will be shining. As Ya'ir ha ubetisha lachedesh, and then on the 9th of the month, the way the Torah speaks about Erev Yom Kippur, kifi shenamru mipi hakadosh baruch hu, as the Almighty says, v'guf yiru. Oh, I skipped a few words. Kishem shemaka v'guf yiru es dvar havaya hamaheva hamachayas ilam ve'es haguf. Just like in the physical space, you're going to see the Word of God that creates and gives vitality and sustenance to the physical space and your body. So too in a conceptual terms of time. Amen. Then it will be tangible. It says, God's glory will be revealed in all flesh, the most physical aspect. And look at what I wrote about the two fat sages. Yachtav, all flesh will see together. So we're going to have a shleimus of ourselves, Yachtav, a unity, and amongst our brethren, everybody, all amongst us. Ki pi havaya diba, you're going to see God's mouth speaking. Is anyone with me? I don't know, I'm afraid that maybe the sound went off or something. So exist in time and space. And it goes on, okay? I know this is lengthy. What time is it? 9:40. That's pretty good. For Sunday, I think that's pretty good. Chill out. I'm sitting on a chair that's making me have to sit like this to compensate for its slope. The Rebbe said at the edge of his chair, that's the cutting edge of Mashiach, okay? Sit on the edge of your chair like the Rebbe. Feel what that feels like. Just sit at the edge of your chair with the Rebbe. Oh, he didn't speak with his hands. I want someone to show me if they have any pictures of the Rebbe speaking with his hands. Sometimes he'd made gestures that were very significant. He'd go like this, or he would go like this. Even his nod, there's a whole story about the Rebbe's nod lifts up a Jew, as opposed to his smile that illuminates, shines beauty, or expresses a reflection of beauty, or appreciation of beauty of God's creation. I've spoken about that before. Okay, so we're going to see it revealed in the flesh, God's glory. Okay. Then it goes on, and then it goes beyond time and space. It goes the next dimension, spiritual level. Here it's talking about intellect in particular. But it talks about the soul. Check this out. Everyone's going to have genuine truth of intellectual, what do they call it? Intellectual integrity, I think they call it. Or to be genuine in your thought. Truthful. We said it also meant passionate. Here I think it doesn't mean the delivery so much as your havana, your understanding. Yavinu es asher yuru. You're going to understand what you're seeing. You're going to see the glory of God in your physical life, health, success, and everything. And you will know that what you see, the truth of it. You'll appreciate the truth of it. What is it? I think it's going to say here. You're going to understand with your soul's perception and mind. You're going to understand how to keep Erev Yom Kippur as it is in the very essence. You're going to live it. You're going to experience that the doors will open and close for you at your will. Ke'ilu, like I'm using a mashal, obviously. Oh, I found something incredible about a mashal and whether you should take it out of the context. I think it might be in this. I didn't realize this goes on to the next page even. It's very long. I think it talks about it here, or maybe it's in my other source that I'm itching to get to. Oh my goodness, it's so beautiful. Maybe I have to segue in a minute. Okay, that was one talk. Then the Rebbe analyzes that He speaks about Daigas Harpanasa, which I had a story that happened to me this Shabbos. Oh, I wanted to thank Rabbi Deitch for inviting me to speak at his shul, okay? Because I said wrongly, and I excluded him from saying no one's asked me to speak, because he has and is asking me to speak. So I spoke at his shul this Shabbos, so I have to give credit and apologize for not appreciating that before, even though he was, he's always been behind me, even though he has different views than me, which is incredible. I think, have some difference to approach to Inyan Mashiach, how Mashiach should be presented, but he still lets me speak to his people. I think that's very big of him. Oh, I just feel like chilling out. I don't want to sit up like that. I just want to relax. I want to just say this for a bit, okay? Well, I don't know if I'm going to get to the whole thing. It's very long. I haven't learned it all. It's beautiful, though. I want to say at least at the beginning. Oh, it goes on to at the end. Oh, it's beautiful. Oh, and here's the part that says, Achar bir chametz yamshuch Mashiach ben David, Iris Kedelis Me'aid. That happened after the bir chametz. Because we were speaking about, that's how I led into this whole conversation. The bir chametz, the bittul that you have to have. And you say, Rebbe, what am I lacking? You're lacking bittul. You need the fire. Okay, those two things are related, but it's two different stories that the Rebbe connected them. Okay, let's just say a few words from this just to have fun. Tzadikim HaBehirim. Do you guys like when I say the Hebrew with it? I think there's a beauty to it. I don't know how many people of you speak Hebrew, but there's a lot of Jewish Hebrew names. Baruch Friedman's, all kinds of. Some I could read. It's not always I can read their names. It's different languages that I don't know how to pronounce. It's fun. Tzadikim HaBehirim, the glowing tzadikim, the shiny tzadikim, Shirayim es kol nadain b'teiv, who, what does it mean that they shine? They see all the world as it is judged favorably. Hem mezachachim es hakil. It suggests here that the process by which they do that is by purifying everything. They bring it to the world by seeing it favorably. They purify the world. Mitzad behirus rayonoseihem, because of the purity of their ideas, their thought process, the thoughts that go through their head. The way that they look at people favorably, they're purifying that. Those people that they interact with and the situations they're in, the environments they're in. They're purifying it. Mitzad hazayar shalatayv hamiyushar shebacheptza latohar, and because of the shining brilliance of the good and the integrity of their pure will, these are beautiful words. Hem mesalkim is called kikula ha'ilam. That causes all the corruption of the world to vanish and float away. That's incredible. And masalkim as kol kikula ilam, that's kol harisha miyasaidam, and they uproot or cause to depart all the risha, the trauma. That's the modern term for evil. Is trauma. Okay, that's how we look at it nowadays. That's our language. Okay, it might be wrong, but that's our language today. Okay, if you're living in a different world or different subculture, it might be a different word. You might have to translate that differently. You're not really with the world conversation. There's things happening, and we can't ignore them. If people are being weird about genders, that is a conversation. Okay, we don't kill people because they have different ideas. It evokes in us to reflect on the truth of the matter and come forth in a smiling face. That's the cutting edge to bring Mashiach, and I have to sit at the edge of my chair. And if I don't do yoga or something, exercise like that, I don't think I could be all I can be. I don't do yoga, but I think it's a worthwhile thing to do, to stretch your body and feel good. I think it's worthwhile. To have proper posture, I think is very important. Not very interesting. I'll lose you. And Masalkim is called Kikulim Eilam. It's called Risham Yisaidam, from their element, from their foundation. Yisaidam, their foundation, rather. It's also element. Hema Midim is called Hatchuna Shalasichlas. They stand up. They cause to stand. All the Tchuna, the significance imparted to foolishness. V'shel Harisha Shal Ha'olam, or the Rasha Shal Ha'olam, Risha maybe. The trauma of the world, Batur Nesachim, as curtains. They pull away the curtains of foolishness and evil. Not evil, not corruption. Trauma. Shem rak misaknimes has zrachas ha'er. They are just correcting the way their light shines. There's light that's shining through filth. And they bring a purity to allow it to shine forth. They purify the people at the core. Shem rak misaknimes has zrachas ha'er. Machinim le'makam sheyuchal laha'ir ba'elam. Preparing for it, this light, a place that it could illuminate in the world. They take the corruption in the world. When you find the Torah, when the Torah speaks about something, when you talk about the temptation of Yosef, everyone who has that issue, even if they don't hear it, are affected by that. When you talk about these things, it gives power for people to realize the truth of what's driving them. That it's not coming from an evil place, it's coming from a trauma that you have to institute or imbue or introduce, rather, health to work it out. And the tzaddik does that on your behalf. He gives you the power to do it, at the very least. Here it says he does it for you. It's just not really Shitas Chabad. So I'm trying to minimize that aspect. We say that we get power from the Rebbe to do the thing ourselves. Okay, and especially now. That's more a Chabad slant of this idea. They don't destroy people. They don't speak musardik. They don't do that. Okay? The thing depends on the quality of the light itself, or the measure rather of the light itself. Midas ha'er, maybe characteristic. Ki eira kedusha metzumtzemes haloi enu tzricha stumim kedei lefshar sahana meziva. V'im ken legabe erka kol gasa is kol netias chamiriyas v'kol v'chayim kol risha v'ksilais har ke'atzma davar mekalkel. I think it means hare ke'atzma or mo'is u'machalia. Okay, it's a bit hard, the lashon here. It could mean mo'is means disgusting, machalia, like a chalaria, like an illness, lashon chela, I don't know. V'neshama mistashtashes al yadam. When it slips out of it, I don't know. V'nefesh mismala regez chali v'katzef al mitziusam. The nefesh is filled with this regez, chali. It's like clockwork orange there. The katzef al mitziusam. They pounce upon. What's the word? They pounce upon their mitzias. Mash'ein ken gerel tzdikim hal yenim bale haskal halukis habehira nesed taras haratzein sher mavhika elyen sheichen behem. The tzdikim don't have that anxiety. That sounded like an animal within them that they have to just free themselves from. And it says that they ma'ir ba'ilam. It's just beautiful. It goes on and on. And it says the main punishment to the wicked. Okay, this is towards the end. I'm just jumping towards the end because it's a bit long. Here I have to talk about this because it talks about Mashiach and bringing tzaddikim to do tshuva. Ki mesech maskines rachas ha'er. So there's going to be this fixing of the curtains that prevent the light to shine. These are beautiful ideas. That's the health that I'm talking about. Just revealing what's there already. There should be ecstasy underneath your anxiety. I could really. That's the whole Baruch Merkur ice bucket challenge. Okay, do it for a week and see if the anxiety turns into euphoria. Try it and then ask for your money back. That's what it means. The Mashiach is going to bring the tzaddikim to do tshuva. Okay. First, there's a plowing stage, and then they do tshuva. First, there's a plowing to be a tzaddik. First, you got to reach the stage of a tzaddik. Get out of that grasping upon you that we just described in such reges, that anger, that anxiety. Once they reach the level of a higher level through their tshuva, it's going to be recognizable to them. So they're going to realize that the great light that Mashiach ben David, we said from another source, is bringing upon them, it's infinite. And remember, we said before that that's going to cause them to feel like they did nothing. And they just have to dive into tshuva like a Baal tshuva. They're going to cry like Eliezer ben Dordaya. A tzaddik. Say, what? How come I did nothing? Oh, that's today's a yum yum. I didn't even get to it yet. I skipped the main part. Oh my goodness. Okay, this is leading up to the yum yum. I said the lead up. I didn't say the actual yum yum. Let me just skip back to there for a second. When Mashiach comes, you're going to yearn for the time of exile. Then you're going to be in pain about the fact that you didn't strive in your service of God. As yargishu b'pnimius as kavagadol shaheder aveda. Then you're going to feel in the depths of you, your inner life, the pain, the great pain of not having served God, of not working on yourself for God's sake. Yimei hagalas hem yimei ha'aveda. Now, right, on the threshold of redemption, this is the time to not have to feel like regretful for not working on ourselves. The days of Galus are the times where a person prepares himself for the coming Mashiach. Now I'm describing how it's going to unfold. Okay, no, I have to skip this online, sorry, because this is beautiful stuff, okay? This is so beautiful. They're gonna become Baal Tshuvas, right? They're gonna want to reach higher because they felt like they didn't do enough. They did nothing, right? Then it's going to burst forth in the world, the great might of their benevolence, their goodness. Were it not for the covers that come from outside, the evil outside the tzaddikim, both in the physical and spiritual. There are spiritual sources that are in the world, like, for example, the Alter Rebbe was against a lot of adversity from tzaddikim. Okay? There was a spiritual idea that opposed him, and the Baal Shem Tov big time. The Alter Rebbe had very powerful enemies, spiritual as can be. So there's the chumrius, the cynical aspect, and then there's the holy cynicism, or inability to see a deeper truth. You know, the Mezrach Shemag before he met the Baal Shem Tov. Haya'ilam istashtash. Again, they use that word, Merev Ziv. The world would shake up, I think. Chink. Does that mean like make the chinking sound of when you shake a bowl with marbles in it? Mistashtash. I think that's that sound, chinking. Merev Ziv, from the great light that's going to shine. The world's going to be in tremors, like I've spoken about in different contexts. Remember? But that was my own idea. Here's a source for it. I was talking about Rabbi Shmuel. Okay, it's a bit hard to talk about even during the night days. And everyone around, all the wicked, are going to return to want to correct the world. And all the wicked are going to be corrected and be brought back to their goodness, knowing their new mission, that they finally accepted upon themselves, that there's something called godliness that you're supposed to bring in the world, and purity and sincerity and being genuine, being a real person, the rawhide of a person, that will come out, okay? And it's going to be good. You're going to have the smell of you. It's going to come out good. That's the apple orchard, right? The sweetness of the apple orchard, right? The Rosh Hashanah before the Erev Yom Kippur. Vikar Ansham Shalom. This is a really important line. The main punishment for the wicked, comes about from getting in the path and causing difficulty for the tzaddikim in the world, which is the world is finite now. So they only have so many resources, so much emotional energy, so much physical energy, right? They're not the superhero that they're going to be yet. They're evolving to that. But it's a process, and it's as Mashiach unfolds, the health is going to lead to that, or science, I don't care what, or miracles, I don't care what. But that's what's going to happen. Our bodies will shine like Adam Rishon and more, like the sun. Okay, look at that, baby. Reminds me of a very funny story that I have to share with you, and it's a bit inappropriate, but it's my son that experienced it, so it's a childlike response to something that was meant childlike. It was like it was in a restaurant, okay, in the South, and my son, we were always ordering something. It was a meat restaurant, And there was like an order, like an appetizer with sausage or something like that. And the waitress came by, you know, and said to him, she saw the plate was empty. She was going to ask him for one another. She says, "Want some more salami, baby?" And my son just laughed his head off, and he can't stop repeating that. That's like our inside joke now. "Want some more salami, baby?" Well, how does I get talking about that? That's so weird. It had some significance, right? Oh, so the world's limited. I don't know how I got to talking about that. The tzaddik can come even despite the opposition and the pain that's the wicked impose upon them, and it comes from both spiritual and non-spiritual, like coarse places. I mean, places of trauma. That's what I mean. I'm not judging anybody. But it could be from holy purposes also, but it might just be wrong, right? There's always two opinions. You got to believe in yourself. And everything will be filled. Once the Rishayim come out of their trauma, the whole world will be filled with joy and happiness. A very powerful a very Eiz v'chedva. Eiz v'chedva, I always say it. We're going to see, we'll be seen before God in Zion. Beautiful words. Okay, that's a lot of stuff. What time is it? 10 o'clock sharp. I could go over the Shem Shmuel again, but I don't know. I'm going to have to rely on you for doing that. I did it. I might have skipped parts before that should not be skipped. That's possible. Oh, it speaks about Esav. Okay, maybe it ties in beautifully. So maybe we should do this again. Let me see the part about Esav. Oh, and Nachash HaKadmoni Sarah Shel Esav. We spoke about the garments of Esav. Can I trust you to look it up, or do I have to go over it? I'm going to leave it aside for a second and trust at least it's there. We've spoken about it briefly, if not at least, the idea. So you're going to have to look it up maybe. And I want to say that the Rebbe's teaching on what we said before. I want to go back to this because he speaks about something that is very relevant to people. And I know because I had to talk with someone. I tried to be real and rawhide. Okay, when I was at the shul. I know people are immersed in trouble. I always felt that because seeing the way people have to live. And now I heard it by someone who's intelligent enough to articulate that. They said that a person's entire world is just dealing with crises one after another. Not in those words, I'm paraphrasing. Basically, in Hebrew we call it daigas haparnasa. Worries about livelihood and sustenance and things like that. Like, what do we call it? The rat race of life. I don't know. What does Matisyahu call it? The daily grind. It's not an expression that I'm familiar with so much, but has a nice image. It's the cutting edge to bring Mashiach is that, but you're worried about bringing Mashiach. Okay, that's the cutting edge of Mashiach. If you want me to define that, because I like that slogan. So the Rebbe puts in that context. So how do you face this idea that you got to live with Mashiach when your whole life is just like this guy explained to me? People that don't have time to be philosophical and think about these kind of ideas and these meditations that actually are your strength to deal with your problems, and that's what allows blessings to come through. That's what people don't get, and therefore, okay, let's see the Rebbe's approach. You do a piskam. I know it's known the story about when Mashiach is going to come. We're going to yearn for the days of exile because we're going to say, well, I could have done so much more. You know, it's the Schindler's List. At first glance, the opposite is more logical. We're going to do so much more when Mashiach comes. We're going to have so much more opportunity then. So why should I regret the time when I didn't have those resources at my fingertips? The time of exile, we just spoke about the Rishoyim that get in the way. That right? We have all that darkness in the world. At first glance, when all the darkness is finally gone, why would I yearn for the time when I was in darkness again and I wasn't able to do what I could do now when I'm having a personal geula? And there's no way you're just blazing a path that nobody's going to get in your way. So the opposite is more logical. Yeshnam daigas parnasa. It's difficult to make a living. You have all these worries. What if I devote my time? I want to be a Rosh Hashiva. How am I going to make a living? Mashiach comes. I'm not going to have that worry. It's going to be delicacies as common as dust. And the Rebbe has explanation what that means. That we're going to see it as dust because it's going to be like the Sarah Khan of Radcliffe says, if you have a relationship that had 2 years, 2 good years, don't expect more. Then you have to work on it, right? After that point, that's what she teaches. I have one of these aphorisms from the wise lady. Am I allowed to call her a lady? This is Sarah Khan of Radcliffe. But it's going to be all delicacies as common as dust, because you're going to see that they're like dust, like because you're so calm. It's going to be so familiar to you. Yes, Lux and cream cheese for breakfast, children. No problem. You got it. You want capers on it? Oh, that's geschmack. You're not going to care about that. You're only going to care about God. Okay, so each to his own level. I don't know what it means for you. It's not important. It means something amazing for you and personable. You are going to have free time then to learn Torah and its wisdom. Okay, the Rebbe says it himself here. The whole world is going to only be to know God then. So then why do we care so much about what we could accomplish in times of exile? Now I can do much more. Nothing's standing in my way. It's specifically what we do now that sets the pace for our entire unfolding of our personal redemption and global redemption. But here it's talking more personal. So if you believe me that there is the personal redemption is the first process and now it's unfolding, why is it so important to be a part of that and not just say it's about waving a flag, Mashiach's here, there's a throne that's full already, and we're here. It's an Avaida rather. Why is it important? Because right now you're creating this next chapter of existence. The whole world. Ayin le'rasa alakim zelasecha. Only Hashem has seen that story. Why? Because Hashem is going to create it as it unfolds through you writing that story now. Okay, that's my chiddush. You don't like it? Tell me why, and we'll talk. I welcome people with different views. I'm telling you that's my feeling. We are writing the next chapter of our existence now. That's what the Rebbe is talking about here. That's hamshachas ha'atzmos. That power to write our story is the gift that we're getting from the suffering. That's why Sarah had to wait 90 years to have Yitzchak. The suffering. There's some kind of establishment that was happening then. Avraham stood upright. Okay, I've spoken about that at length many times. But look into that. She had to suffer for 90 years as a process. And that's what creates the story. The Yitzchak is a product of that suffering. Yitzchak was everything. The whole bracha that came from Yitzchak, all of humanity, of Yaakov's children, dependent on that blessing. That's why it relates back to the Esav, which I have to jump back to after I do finish this, if there's time. It's getting very late. Right, this is very important stuff. Because the Avaida of the Zman Galus, I'm going to tell you in our language, probably that you know what I'm talking about. It's breaking through the matrix. Shviras abitul hahelam, getting way to the false concealment, breaking it and nullifying that concealment. Remember we said that God made a game? Okay, there's a false aspect of the game. There's a matrix he made, a game, and that's to break out of it. Here's the flip side of it. When you get out of it, but to be in that and to what does that draw? That's hamshachas ha'atzmos. Oh my goodness, that's so incredible. By breaking through the matrix, the game that you think is real, the fakeness of the world, that's what creates your next chapter of existence. The schar. Right now, this is the Avaida. Hayayim la'seisam. Tomorrow we're going to receive the reward. The reward is what you accomplish now. You're writing your own story. Okay, someone write that down for me. That's a really important message. You write your own story. It's happening now. It's unfolding now. You know when they do those like telethons, it's happening now. We're bringing lots of money to this incredible cause, It's happening now, it's unfolding now. You could be a part of it. If you think that I'm saying is true, do it. If you find someone else, I don't even know anyone else that's even talking about this. How are we going to live now with the unfolding of Geula? Show me someone else that's speaking that language, and I will watch what they say. That will get me back on the bike. Because, I'm lacking inspiration right now. Maybe I'm not looking hard enough. I'm lacking inspiration from others. I'm getting it from Rabbi Merkur. Well, that's really enough for me, actually. But I need inspiration to get me on the bike. That's what I'm talking about, really. If Rabbi Merkur made Shurim, that will get me on the bike. Okay. Okay. That's how you take atzmus. And remember we said before, how do you take your disciple, the Mezritch Magen? You do that with fire. So I want that to resonate here. That's the destruction of the concealment, is through fire. You burn up the walls of exile. I think the Frierdiker Rebbe said that the walls of exile are burning down. It brings a story here. The Frierdiker Rebbe told that there was one chassid that would speak with great enthusiasm. This might be the flip side of what I'm saying. The hamishalim. Oh no, it's not the passion that was bad. The passion was good, but he spoke more about the mashalim shebeterechs, which I actually wondered. Now this is an answer to that. I had this question a few months ago. It seemed inappropriate for me to focus only on visualizations, because then you're focusing on the mashal. I was worried about that. Here's a source for that idea. And I was debating that openly, like both sides of the idea, because there is a concept of visualization. The Rebbe Rashab speaks about that at length. Okay, so there is such a concept. But the koch in that's at stake here. And that's what the Frierdiker Rebbe was talking about when he said some chassid, and an alter chassid tells this guy, Lama hanach medab b'teich tainu shekazeh oides hamashal mutav shetidaber oides hanimshal. Why are you speaking with such passion and pleasure about the mashal? Imagine someone who went on and on about the beauty of a face that he has envisioned. How superficial that would be heard by another, even though that embodied some angelic thing. Yechezkel interestingly, went at length to describe that aspect. And Shir Hashirim also is a bit of the emphasis on the mashal. But here this Elter Chassid tells this Chassid to not get so much pleasure out of the mashal. Mutav, it's better. He doesn't say it's wrong, but it's mutav. Speak about the nimshal. What is it talking about? What's the whole purpose of the allegory? What's it meant to communicate to you? Revel in that. Okay, so that is a bit of a correction to my idea before about the importance of visualization. I don't think it uproots it, because in a certain context it's very, very important. It's a necessary part of your day, even part of davening. You have to do that unless you're elevated beyond it. So maybe the alter chassid here knew that this chassid should have been. He was more elevated. He could be working on a higher level of Veda that Rebbe Shab also speaks about there in the Kuntres of Veda, right near the beginning. I'm not saying the Rebbe tells us that there's something. So similarly, just like the Rebbe says, don't get so much involved with the allegory, the mashal, the story of the darkness. The Rebbe takes that idea and applies it now to the darkness that we're ascribing to exile. And since there's an advantage, you bring atzmos. So it's not that the Rebbe is saying that there's a maila, there's a special quality about the darkness itself. Hamailahi b'shvirus bittul lahelam. The virtue is in conquering those traumas or the negativity in our life, overcoming all the dark voices, be they spiritual or coarse, crass, even lowly, wherever they come from. We have to believe in what you're doing. You have to believe in what you're doing all the time. That it's coming from a good place. And that's what you have to kochen. The nimshal here is that you're plowing your way through the darkness, not that you're in you're in like this spaceship or whatever, going through the darkness, and you're just looking at the darkness. Wow, look at all that darkness. That's like the approach of Musar. They end up speaking more about the darkness than the light that brings you out of the darkness. That's what Chassidus is about, and that's the message here. And although the revelation of the Atzmos will be in the future specifically, right? We say we have shachas Atzmos. You're writing the story now, but you're not reading the story. You're creating the whole seed that the whole is going to sprout forth this entire Geula. You're creating that story now by everything you do every second. You know, those moments resonate forevermore. Everything's written, it says in Pirkei Avos. Everything you do has to have integrity because it's written before God. You can't hide anything. That's the raw hide. Don't hide. Come out with your rawhide or take off the rawhide and see who's inside. It's the Yaakov Avinu Ishtam Yeshiv Elim. It's when you live with Torah. That's the world that you're immersed in. Then you know you're coming from a place of purity. No matter the garments that you seem to be donning at the time. Yitzchak Avinu Rivka Imenu will see the good in it, right? They'll have the scent of Gan Eden open up before them. It's only Esav who brought the scent of a pit of darkness underneath him that Yaakov was horrified by. But Yaakov was an orchard. So although the revelation will be in the future, so what does it have to do with now? Why do I care now? This idea that you're writing your whole story. It's just a story that you don't even know that you're writing it. So in the future, it's just going to be that story is going to play through now. But to write that story, Nemen Atzmus, that's what takes the essence. That's accomplished specifically today. This is the last chance for you to write your story. Therefore, the main virtue of your existence is what you accomplish today. The Rebbe goes on to say, this requires Mesiras Nefesh, but you don't have to throw yourself off the roof, the Rebbe says. Oh, that's beautiful. It means to do something small. Smile at someone. Do that with Mesiras Nefesh. That's what the Rebbe is asking you to do. That's the transformation of the whole world to the Kafskus. How if the whole world is on even keel, perfectly balanced, put this on it. Do something small. And it just outweighed everything. And you broke through the darkness of exile. So I just want to read you one or two lines about transforming Esav because it ties into the whole idea of the garments. Yeah, here it is. Yeah, here it is. Beautiful. I think I read this, I don't know, but it's so worth repeating. I've read this so many times. I'm just keep reading this. I'm going to back up a little bit because it's so beautiful. Mashiach ben Yosef is going to destroy the descendants of Amalek and the war, the progeny that comes from Esav. Ki ein Esav nefel b'yad b'neha shel Rachel. It takes the children of Rachel to fell Esav. Okay, this is saying there's a connection between the physical and the spiritual one, and this is accomplished through Mashiach ben Yosef. It's on the earth. That represents that it was accomplished in heaven. Okay, what's this going to do? It's beautiful. This peels away the curtain, peels away the matrix. From the hearts of the Jewish people, and it will tear up their closed up hearts. It will, remember we said that it was like plowing a field? It will soften the heart of stone. The Rebbe speaks about the Jew with a heart of stone, that he has to stay Karavel Taint. He has to do everything in his power to change the destruction of the base of English to the building of the base of English. He uses this term, a stone Jew. A Jew that has a heart of stone, the Rebbe says. Then it's going to be a plowed field. He doesn't use the words here, but he's going to see a heart of flesh. Remember, our flesh is going to see. Then it's going to be prepared to receive the great light of Mashiach ben David, which will be drawn down from above. And it says, Mashiach ben David, Lasavat Tzidik Gabet Siyutav, it says in the Zohar, the Mashiach is going to bring the Tzadikim to do tshuva, L'Geira Yeser Yud Stakal Imra, Lasavas Rishaya. Should have said that he's going to bring the wicked to do tshuva, Ach Nirik Shezeh Yasel Yed Mashiach ben Yosef, because that's already going to be done. You don't have, we're talking about Tzadikim because Mashiach ben Yosef is going to deal with the Rishonim. She's Gaber al Yadeh. He's rather hara al yadi. He's going to burn up like the chametz, which we've been tying into all this. Medrash batli yitzahara mina elam akol baim tachas knafashal kadosh baruch. Everything's going to come out of the wing of God. Remember, we spoke about what does it mean magen. God's going to enclose us with a wall of fire to protect us. Protect from what? There's no goyim that's going to be harmful to us. They're all going to love us because we're going to be. It's, when we say being guarded, it means under His wing. He's going to show the glory that his love for the Jewish people. That's going to be expressed as glory to the Jewish people and looked upon favorably by the Gentiles, because Hashem's doing it for their sake, so that they could see what beauty and love means. And that exists within each person's heart, that same idea, the Gentile within. It's known that the source of the evil, of the trauma, is the primordial serpent. God wanted that. He created that because someone has the power to grasp the tail of the Nachash and make it into a stick to use for godliness, like Moshe Rabbeinu. I spoke about that around Pesach time. Okay, grab the stick and see grab the serpent and see it's a stick in your hand. But the Yetzer Hara is Nachash HaKadmoni Sarah Shel Esav. That's the ministering angel of Esav. Kasher Mashiach ben Yosef Yichala Zara Shel Esav, and Mashiach ben Yosef is going to vanquish the descendants of Esav, Lamata, Behachrik, Shnafal, Kfar, Sarah, Lamaila. It's going to happen spiritually also after that's accomplished on the earth. Does it say after? The Kasher, at the same time, they're synchronous. It happens at the same time. There's a spiritual reality that's like this Marvel movie that's playing out on a spiritual level. Okay, because there's a shleimus in the spiritual world. There's nothing lacking that you wouldn't have. You know, if there's angels created and everything we say, that you could see the angels, they have wings, da-da-da-da. You're just not supposed to be too smitten by the physical aspect of things. Like when you're going through the king's palace and he has this beautiful artwork, don't hang out there. Go to the king himself in the inner chamber and embrace the king himself. And it says, all the wicked are going to do tshuva. That's what Mashiach ben Yosef. But then after this job of nullifying the chametz, the pride, the ego, and all the trauma, then the tzaddikim are going to feel guilty when their hearts are opened up. That they didn't serve Hashem powerfully enough. Which fits in beautifully with today's Yom Yom. And the tshuva that's going to happen now, everyone's going to be tzaddikim, it says at the end. And everyone's going to do tshuva with the tzaddikim. Right? And that's going to be Mashiach ben David. But we're going to be tzaddikim first, because we're going to do tshuva out of being a rasha. Then we're going to do tshuva from out of being a tzaddik. We're going to have real fire. Have a great day.